Hey, hey, everybody. It is me. It is Candace. Hopefully, you are here with me. Oh, you know what? I need to pull up to see what you see, but I also know there's a delay, so let's see what we got going on here. But if you're here, tell me hi, hello. That way I know I'm not talking to myself. Otherwise, even if I am talking to myself, we'll do some questions. I got some lined up, but I also know there were some people saying they had questions. So, we'll see what happens. What is going on today? Now, let's see. Oh, there we go. Now I can see that if there's anybody here. Hey, you think you're the only one, Deborah? You know what? I'm okay. I'm okay with that because I am so proud of you. You earned this, and I'm going to sing it directly to you.
Good job, good job. Good job, good job. T-double-O-D-J-O-B. Good job, good job.
Hey, because you passed, and
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
I'm so proud of you. You worked so hard and you passed. You're supposed to be going to the beach. So, as much as I appreciate you being here right now, go to the beach. You earned it. You've earned it so much. You worked so hard. We worked together on those 101s. You were open to suggestions. You were an amazing person to have with this whole experience. So, mwah, just that's all I can say to you is mwah, mwah, mwah. I'm so proud. I'm so happy for you. I really, really am. So go to the beach. I know we're not alone now. So there you go. You are so welcome. Hearts. You are so welcome. Go to the beach. We'll catch up. We'll talk. And congratulations. All right, let's get to some questions today. Guys, I'm going to switch to my iPad. And I'm going to say this is the legal jamble of whatever. What we're going to go over today is a quiz a student gave me. They was photocopied and I don't know where it came from. So if you're somebody watching this going, those are my questions, I am so sorry. I figured let's do them. If I knew how to find where you were, I would credit you, but I figured we do this and we'll do finance because that's one of those things that people are always, hey, Dina, that's one of those things that people are always struggling with. And thank you for being here. So let's get right into it. I'm just going to talk through it and we'll see how far we get. So here we go. And let's choose a different color. An instrument whereby a trustor conveys a security interest in his real property to a third on behalf of a lender is known as a what? An instrument where a trustor conveys a security interest in his property to a third party of the lender is known as a what? Now, this is an old school. I can tell this is an old school test because it's got this one only, two only, neither one and two, both one and two. Usually, most places are not going to have this anymore, but we like to see. I actually love these because if you know the definition of mortgage and if you know the definition of deed of trust, well, then you can go through it. Now, I see, Dina, you said B, and guess what? Yep. That is our answer. It is B. Hey, Caroline, I got your email. It has been crazy, but we will set up something. Don't worry. Oh, and look at the puppy in your picture. So I've got you. You're on my radar. We're going to get this. So, yes, our first answer is B because we know a mortgage is a two-party instrument. There's just the borrower and the lender. But the deed of trust has a borrower. They have the lender, also known as the beneficiary. And then that third party that they're talking about is the trustee. Because we know the bank is saying, hey, why don't you go in and say that we can use this house as collateral, but go ahead and give us title. We'll just give the trust title so that if we need to foreclose, we could do a non-judicial foreclosure. That says for CL. I can spell. There we go. All right, let's try number 2. A mortgage instrument may include a clause that allows the lender to declare the entire loan amount due upon default. What is this clause called? A mortgage instrument may include a clause that allows the lender to declare the entire loan amount due upon default. What is this clause called? Is it A, a due on sale clause, or B, an acceleration clause? It really helps to know. This is where it helps to know our vocab. And if you know one of them and not the other, that can even help us narrow it down. Or a due on sale clause. We know that is also called an alienation clause. And that alienation clause is basically saying if you sell the property, you've got to pay off the bank. If you sell the property. And this one says because of default, which means it can't be 1, which means the answer can't be A and it can't be C. At this point, just because I knew one of the words, I can eliminate one of the choices. And the question is that an acceleration clause? Is this about default? And yes, it is. That is the definition. This is the definition of an acceleration clause, making our answer B. Nice job, Carolyn. Love it, love it, love it. All right. And again, if you all have questions, I know you'll ask, but it is what it is. I didn't get any water. Oh, well. Number 3. James Smith and his family have just moved from Georgia to North Carolina and are negotiating the purchase of a home that they wish to finance through a savings and loan association. Since Smith is from out of state and this will be his first home, he needs some advice. What type of document will Smith and his wife be asked to sign that gives a security interest in the real property to the lender? This is one of those questions where it really helps if you just kind of narrow it down. And truthfully, the only thing we really needed to know was what type of document will Smith and his wife be asked to sign that gives a security interest to the property of the real property to the lender. Well, we can go through here. A promissory note is the IOU. It doesn't create a security interest, so that's not a thing. A security deed. Sounds good, but no, that's not going to be that either. Equitable lien? Well, it's not a lien. We know it's not a lien. So then what we've got left is a deed of trust. A deed of trust. They have a very strong, hey Elena, a very strong security interest. Remember, the promissory note just says, how much am I borrowing and, how am I going to pay you back? I think a better answer would have been mortgage, because it gives you a security interest in, by giving you a mortgage lien. But either way, if I know what the other things are, I can eliminate them in this made up one, the security deed, bloop, and I can come up with an answer. All right. If you have questions, just to ask. And Margaret, you said D. Good job. I just wanted to. And Elena, you said D. And Caroline, you said D. We love it. I love when y'all getting things right. All right. Which of the following provisions would most likely exist in Smith's promissory note if the loan is a VA loan? Which of the following provisions would most likely exist in Smith's promissory note if the loan is a VA loan? You got a prepayment penalty clause. You have a due on sale clause. You have an acceleration clause. And all of the above. What are we thinking for this one? What are we thinking? And I want you to think about it. Can you tell me what is a prepayment penalty? Can you tell me like all of these things here? Does that make sense? Do we understand what each of these clauses mean? Do we need to go back and figure out like what's going on? Anybody have any guesses? Dina said E. Dina said, look now, I don't even know. So my question to you, Dina, is, well, what is it about it that you don't, do we know what all these things are? Do we know? Okay, so number one, this is a fee for early payment. All right. We learned a due on sale clause is because you sold the property. And the acceleration clause is that you defaulted. Now, here's the key. Here's the real key to answering this. It says it's a VA loan. And what do we know about VA loans? We know that VA loans, the money comes from the bank. The loan is actually from the bank. It's just the VA gives a guarantee. That's not how you spell guarantee. If there's a default. And if there is a default, they want the VA to pay them everything that is owed. So I feel abomination clause. I like that, Elena. It's abomination clause. So I kind of know here, you said no down payment, low rate. Now, Dina, remember, there's the possibility, however you spell it, of no down payment. Because remember, this is about the bank. If you have a VA, your letter from the VA, certificate of eligibility says, you know what, we will guarantee $150,000. That's the guarantee. Let's see. But you buy a house for $600,000. Oh, you going to be putting some money down. You going to be putting some money down. So there's that. So we know, what? Our answer is for all of the above. The bank still wants to make money. The bank wants to get paid if it's sold. The bank wants to say, hey, VA or buyer, somebody needs to pay me all my money because you defaulted. Either way, it needs to happen. All right, let's do our next one. A two-party instrument whereby a borrower conveys a security interest to his real property to a lender is known as a what? A two-party instrument whereby a borrower conveys a security interest in his real property to a lender is known as a what? So, again, we got to know our vocab. And if we think back, I just talked about this. How many parties in a mortgage and how many parties in a deed of trust? Anybody know? Anybody know what this could be? Any guesses? Anybody? All right, Elena says there's two parties in a mortgage, and that is correct. There is the lender and the borrower. So we know that's got to be, it can't be B and it can't be D, and actually, right, because it has to include one. And there we go. Elena said there are three parties in a deed of trust. The lender, the borrower, and then we're adding that trustee. So no. And that means our answer is A. Boom. Love it. All right. What about number 6? Under a deed of trust, the lender is known as the who? Under a deed of trust, the lender is known as, is it the mortgagor, the trustee, the beneficiary, or the grantor? Okay, Elena says C. Elena's got a C in there. C is for cookie. That's good enough for me. All right. Elena says C. Caroline says C. Anybody else? I know we don't have a ton of people watching today, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get one more person. Anybody else? Anybody in? There's Dina. We got C. And you know what? Y'all are geniuses. Boom. C is the answer. I love this for you all. I love this. Y'all are geniuses. Love it. All right. I'm going to skip. Let's skip around a little bit. Let's try number 9. A promissory note is only one of the many legal documents a borrower is required to sign when borrowing money to purchase a property. The purpose of the promissory note is to what? The promissory note is only one of many legal documents a borrower is required to sign when borrowing money to purchase a property. The purpose of the promissory note is to A. Secure the property as collateral. B. Assign the mortgage property to a trustee as collateral. C. Serve as the primary evidence of the outstanding debt. Or D. Guarantee or insure the loan. Okay. Margaret says maybe A. Maybe A. Elena said a promissory note is evidence of debt. So we got an A, we got a C. Ooh, we're going to need a tiebreaker here. I got an A, I got a C. Somebody else, we got to weigh in. Is it an A or is it a C? Is it an A or is it a C? Anybody? Even if the answer is E. Well, I mean, I guess E doesn't help me because we would still be in a tie. All right, hey, So says C. Okay, we got 2 C's. I guess we got to go with C. Is our answer serves as the A. Okay, and Elena, you said A is for mortgage. I see what you're saying. Yep. Okay, so you're right, y'all. The answer is C. And let's talk about it. What Elena's saying is this is the answer for what is a mortgage or deed of trust. That is what that answer is. Assign the mortgage property to a trustee as a collateral. That would be a deed of trust. Guarantee or insure the loan. Well, if it's guaranteed, we know it's a VA loan. If it's insured, it's either MIP, because that's an FHA loan, or if it's a conventional loan, it is PMI for private mortgage insurance. Which means no, and yes. Good. Let's taco about it. Hey, Trix, how you doing? All right. Any questions? Wait, does that help, Trix? Did that make sense, or do I need to go into some more detail? Is that good, or do I need to go into some more detail? I think we're good. All right. Let's keep on going. Ooh, you're cooking tacos. Ooh, jealousness. All right. John has purchased a home with a 6% 30-year conventional loan in the amount of $120,000. His monthly principal and interest is $720 for 360 months. The payments will pay the loan in full at the end of the term. So is A, we're trying to find out which one is true. Is it true that 1, the loan is fully amortized? Or how about 2, there is an adjustable rate loan? So what does a fully amortized loan mean? What does that mean? What does fully amortized loan mean? So I know there's a little bit of a delay. You all have to think, oh, okay, never mind. Y'all said A. You all said A. Oh my goodness. Y'all are killing it with these. That's the right answer. Exactly. Exactly. Gee, you all are awesome. I didn't have to do that. We know it's not an adjustable rate mortgage because it stays the same all the time. Booyah. All right. Let me see if I can find one that's going to, let me see if I can find one that's going to stump you. How about number 13? An adjustable rate mortgage is obtained on January 1st. It has a beginning interest rate of 7% with 1 in 5 caps. What do the 1 and 5 mean? An adjustable rate mortgage is obtained on January 1st. It has a beginning interest rate of 1% with 1 and 5 caps. What do the 1 and 5 mean? Oh, I wonder how, let's say, right now I'm saying at this moment, how bad is our thing? Where I'm talking about this, it is 3:22 p.m. Let's see when that shows up on the screen. I can't tell if my computer is slow, how bad the latency is. I can't tell. So I just want to see how long it takes. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I think there's like a, I think it's been like 20 seconds. Do 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 do. All right. We are still, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. Okay, so on my computer, I still haven't seen it. I'm pretty sure that you all are at number 3. Let me try refreshing let me refresh here. Oh yeah, it's just my computer. Okay, so it looks like you all know this. So you all said, Are we all on 13? Y'all give me a thumbs up if we're on 13. I'm just going to talk about it, but it's just weird. It's just, this delay is just weird to me. We got to find a better way to do this. Anyway, by we, I mean me. So the rate next year may rise to 8% or drop to 6%. Or the rate can never rise higher than 12%. Do we like this? An ARM is changing interest rate based on the index. Yep, that's true. That is a true statement. That is a true statement. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. The rate next year may rise to 8% or drop to 6%. I like that. I like that. I like that answer. Yep, that's good. It could rise because that's the 1%, right? That means it can go up by 1. It can never go, like, within a year, it can never go more than 1%. But that 5 is the cap. It can never go higher than 12%, making our answer C. I love it. I love it. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, was there math that you all wanted me to do? I mean, we're doing finance, but I wasn't sure if one of you all that is here, did I need to do some math? I wasn't sure if I needed to do math. I can do math, but you tell me. While you're thinking about it, I'm trying to find a good question. Let's try 18. Please, you need math. You need math. Okay, let's see. Let's see if there's any math on this thing. Is there any math? Any math? Nope, no math. So let's do some math. Is finance math? Elena, what kind of math do you need? Tell me, what kind of math should we work on? And that's for anybody. Tricks, Dina, and discount points. And discount points too. All right. Let me move this out the way. And if we're going to do math, what type of math? I know Elena says discount points. Elena, I feel like you know how to do discount points. I feel like you're ready to test, but I know you know how to do discount points. But I'm going to do one just because I love you. I'm going to do a discount point test. Let's see if I can find a discount point. Oh, here's some math. No. Let's see. Oh, you have a question. What is the difference between buy downs and a discount point? Well, a buy down is a description of a feature of a loan. It's kind of like with car, like a buy down loan just says, hey, the borrower paid to have a lower interest rate. That's all it says. It could be a buy down ARM. It could be a buy down fixed. It could be a buy down term or interest only loan. It's like being a convertible in a car, if that makes sense. I think that makes sense. I'm hoping so. So we'll see. Uh-oh. Buy down is temporary. No, sometimes when we're talking about buy down, it could be temporary or it could be permanent. And then points are the method or tool that is used to make a buy down loan. Does that help? I'm hoping so. Yay! Okay, let's see if we can find some points math. I know. Yeah, I got some points on here. Let's see. Amortization, PITI, annual interest, interest paid. Where are the points? There it is. Ginger's bank is willing to lend her $134,000 for a 30-year loan at 6% with a factor of 6.0 if she pays 2.5 points. How much will Ginger pay in points? It's a great question because this is one of those things that has so many numbers. If you don't know what you need to do with these numbers, it's not going to work. Now, I'll tell you right now, 30-year loan at 6% with a factor of 6.0. You know what? They're interesting numbers. Before this problem, we don't need them. As a matter of fact, you would use this number and this number to find that number. You know, if it asked what is the monthly payment, that's how you would use the factor to find how much your payment is on a $134,000 loan, which I can do if you want me to do after we finish. What we need is the fact that you've got 2.5 points on a $134,000 loan. Well, we know 1 point is equal to 1%. So 2.5 points is equal to 2.5%. So we need to find 2.5% of $134,000, which is literally just going $134,000 times 2.5%. And that's going to be, that is 134. Oh, come on, 134 times 2.5%. That is $3,350. Boom. The key to this one was making sure you know you didn't need this and you didn't need that and you didn't need that. However, let's say the question then said, how much is the monthly payment? Maybe they would say, how much is the monthly payment? Well, if that was the case, what would I do? I would say, okay, well, we know, and let me erase this. We know there's a factor of 6.0. We know factor is a rate of P&I, and it's going to tell you a dollar amount paid monthly for every 1,000 borrowed. Well, if the loan is for $134,000, we divide it by 1,000, we get 134. So we're going to pay 6. That 6.0 is basically saying you owe $6 for every 1,000 borrowed. So that means for every month you're going to pay $6 134 times. That's going to give you your monthly payment until it's paid off. So I'm just going to do 134 times 6, and that gives us a monthly payment of $804. That's not what they asked. That's for this question, but I want to make sure you understand how to do that. All right, hopefully that helped. What other type of math would you like to see? Or is there a topic you want me to explain? What else? I mean, I could do all sorts of things. However, I want to do what you all want. And if you don't know, then I'll have one of you randomly choose a page in this math book and I'll do it. So if there's a topic, or we can do vocab. For every explanation, you know I'm praying you remember. You're going to have this, Elena, the next time you take the test, you'll be telling me, I passed, Candace. I passed. I already know this to be true. So, questions, topics, or does somebody want to pick a random number? A random page number? Either way, I'm good with it. Anybody? All right, I'll choose a random page number. Page 7. I'm going to do page 7. Let me scroll to page 7. 7, 16, 10. It's 8. All right. Actually, let's do net to seller. Let's do number 4. What is the least amount that Karen must sell her home for if she must pay off a $262,619 first mortgage, a secondary mortgage of $13,000, and a $25,000 line of credit, as well as paying her broker 5.5%. I mean, Home Chill owes a lot of money. She owes a lot of money. Contracts evaluation, okay, we'll see what we can come up with. All right. What is the least amount Karen must sell her home for if she must pay off a $262,619 first mortgage, a secondary mortgage of $13,000, and a $25,000 line of credit, as well as paying her broker 5.5%. All right, so what do? We're going to add the $262,619. We're going to add the $13,000. $6,000, and we're going to add the $25,000, and that's going to give us a number. So let me add it together. 262, 619 plus 13,000 plus 25,000 equals $300,619. Now, here's the thing. If this was the sales price, then is there any money left for a commission? If that was the sales price, if this was it right here, what are you getting paid? Absolutely nothing. There's no money left over for you. We need, if this is the sales price, we need there to be a 6% commission plus all of the rest of this right here needs to be $306.19. I mean, it can't just sell like all of this right here is $306.19. If you sell the house for $300,619, there's no money left to pay you. In fact, what I do know, if this is 6%, then all the rest of that yellow is 93%. So whatever the sales price is, if I multiplied it by 93%, that would give me $300,619. So what am I going to do to solve? Sales price is equal to $300,619 divided by 93%. So the minimum sales price, that says price, I get that. The minimum sales price is $300,619 divided by 93%, and that gives us $323,246.24. Boom shakalaka laka boom. There we go. All right, you said contracts or valuations. Let's do this. Let me go to here. This is a list of the vocab in contract law. Let me see. We'll start with the first half. Is there any word on here that you're not familiar with? Any word on here that you are not familiar with? And I can do the same thing for contracts, finance, and valuation. Is there any vocab word that you're like, Candace, could you please explain it to me because I don't understand? And if you're wondering what the words are underneath here, it's just, let's see if I can get it. Boom. I know it's a little small. But are there any words on this list? Oh, email me tricks. Just email me. It's the vocab checklist I have, so email me. Anybody? Anybody got a word? I think we're good. This is contracts. Well, the other thing that, let's see. Okay. Acceptance, is it different in each state? No, when we talk about acceptance, I don't know of a single state. We're talking about acceptance where there have to be signatures and notifications. And notification that somebody signed, right? There has to be, so we know if I'm buying Trix's house and then Trix dies before, and I die before Trix tells me I'm under contract. So let me say that again. I'm buying Trix's house. Candace is the buyer. Trix is the seller. I give Trix an offer. Trix loves the offer. She signs it. We're not under contract. In order for us to be under contract, she would have to tell me. Well, if I die before Trix or her agent tells me we're under contract, then we're not under contract. You can't get a dead person under contract. All right. Elena, you said, what is an illusory offer? It's something that it looks like you're offering, but so sometimes I might say, hey, I want to buy Trix's house, but this offer needs approval from somebody else. Like it looks like you're under contract, but you're actually not. It's not it's an illusory offer, illusory contract. Like it looks like it's an offer, or it looks like a contract, but it's actually not. There's something wrong with it that's stopping it from being. Like, it looks real, but it's an illusion. Does that make sense? Hopefully so. Like, it looks like this is a real offer. It looks like it's a real contract, but we're actually not. All right, what else? Let's roll on. I think we're good with finance. Nope, the parole evidence rule does exist, Miss Margaret. The parole evidence rule does exist. You know what? I'm assuming. Let me just triple check. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know that it's in 99.9. Does parole evidence rule apply to all states? Different. It says that most states do. What most states do? I just looked it up on a search. Now I'm looking up South Carolina, just to be specific. Yes, it says the parole evidence rule does apply to South Carolina. So yes, you need to know that. Okay, so here's what the parole evidence rule is about. It is about fixtures. Now, what's the best way to tell whether or not something's a fixture? The best way to tell is, what does the contract say? What does the contract say? But every so often, somebody will have a bad contract, a badly written contract, and they can't tell what's a fixture, so they go to a judge. The judge uses the parole evidence rule. Well, it's not just about fixtures. Let me take that back. It's for all things contract related. I think it's easiest to understand fixtures, but fine. I usually use fixtures in an example, but I realize it's all things. So let's say there's a contract and we're questioning, well, what should this be? What is this? What is this contract saying? Or how should this contract be applied? The judge looks at the parole evidence rule, and it basically says, if it's not in writing, it doesn't count. Right? If it's not in writing, it doesn't count. So here's what I mean by its fixtures. Let's say I'm buying Trix's house, and in the MLS, it said she was going to replace the carpet. And we talked about her replacing the carpet. We get under contract, and then I'm like, well, when are you going to replace the carpet? And she's like, that's not what the contract says. If we ended up in front of a judge, or if we tried to write our own contracts and we messed up the language, the judge is going to be like, look, if it's not in the contract, we're not caring about it. Now, that rule also extends to say, if this is a badly written contract, whoever wrote these terrible contracts, they can't win. Like, you've got to do your best to try to write a contract, and it's only the stuff in the contract that counts. Right? Cool. It has to be in writing. Well, so there's a difference there, Tricks. This says if it's not in writing, it doesn't count. The fact that it has to be in writing is the statute of frauds. That some contracts have to be in writing is the statute of frauds. If it's not in writing, it doesn't count, is the parole evidence rule. That's a very, very slender difference, right? The reality of consent. Elena, I got you. Reality of consent. And why don't I go here? Let's erase this stuff. No, let's do it down here. Let's choose a different color to make it a little easier for y'all to see. It's getting messy. The reality of consent. This, you know how if there's fraud or like a lot of misrepresentation, duress, undue influence. Remember these? Undue influence. Well, all of that has to do with the reality of consent. When you go into the contract, it had to be, you had to do it willingly. You went in freely. So if somebody holds a gun to your head, that's duress. You didn't really go into it. It looks like you went into it and you had consent. You consented to this, but you really didn't. There's a missing reality of consent whenever there's fraud, misrepresentation, duress, or undue influence. Now, call an attorney. You can't just be like, but I didn't understand the contract. That's not going to count. That does not count. And then you said accord and satisfaction. Accord and satisfaction is different than full performance. Full performance means you do everything in the contract. That's what full performance is. You did everything. So think of a promissory note. A promissory note is a contract. And if you say you're going to pay back $200,000, full performance is paying back $200,000. Accord and satisfaction means you paid back $190,000, but the bank and you are in accordance that your lesser action satisfies your requirements. So full performance means you did everything you were supposed to do. And accord and satisfaction means we've accepted something less. We're going ahead and agree, right? All right. Could I also explain, please, about the two damages? Oh. So there's lots of different damages on here. Let's choose a different color. You got ooh, that's not it. Not what I wanted. We got compensatory damages, consequential damages. Where else do we see it? Liquidated damages. There should be punitive damages. Do I not have punitive damages on here? Well, we do have punitive damages. I need to add that. Punitive damages. Am I missing one? Liquidated, punitive, comprehensive. So, this one is just a you should know. Don't worry about it. Just know it exists. Just know it's real. What you care about is liquidated damages. This is when you decide in the contract, hey, you decide in the contract up front, if one of us breaches, this is what you get. Often our earnest monies can serve as liquidated damages. If I breach, then you get to keep this earnest money seller. That's liquidated damages. But damages in general are what is awarded when somebody breaches a contract. So damages are damages usually relate to money. So punitive damages would be you did something wrong and the judge tells you pay back that person. So it'll be punitive monies that you have to pay back. It's a punishment because you did something wrong. Liquidated damages is monies you decided in the contract somebody should get. And compensatory damages is you cover the costs. You need to compensate that person for their loss. So there you go. All right, guys, my mama just got here, so I have to go. I'm going to still do this. I forgot to put up the 3 o'clock today, but I will continue to do this. In fact, I'm going to put it on my YouTube banner that I will be doing at least Fridays at 3, and I think it's going to be Wednesday evenings at like 7 p.m. Eastern. I think that's what I'm going for. Right? So I think, let me know how you feel about that. Obviously, I'll be doing Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. But do we also want to do, I'm sorry, not Wednesdays. Fridays. Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern, and then Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. EST. Or would you prefer 8 p.m. EST? Something like that. So everybody, I hope that helps. Kind of let me know what you need. I will talk to you all later. Bring questions, guys, or let me know what you want me to cover. So have a great one. Bye, everybody.